So it was something I was reading here that's a little interesting, and I want your opinion on it, Rico. And it was from the Boston Globe. Ben Volen, who covers the New England Patriots, wrote something regarding possibly Bill Belichick being on the hot seat in 2023. He wrote that Belichick, quote, Belichick's friends have privately said they are worried that he's on the hot seat in 2023. Here's why. They list things like after Brady over the past 3 seasons, Belichick's team has gone 25-25 over that course, and they failed to make the playoffs twice. Along with this past offseason, Robert Kraft having a heavier hand in the New England's operation by extending linebackers coach Gerard Mayo and himself interviewing offensive coordinator candidates this offseason. Do you truly think that he's on the hot seat?
Yeah, I could have stopped you from saying all of that stuff. Yes, he is on the hot seat. I think he wanted to prove to everybody, to the NFL, to New England, to Boston, everybody that it was him. It was not Tom Brady. He was the genius. He pulled the strings. He won the titles. He got everything going, and he's not. The Patriots are a subpar team. And if you take away the fact that they won titles under Tom Brady, he probably would have been fired by now. It's not a promising team. You really don't know who your quarterback is because you neutered your own quarterback. And
when you have Patricia being the offensive coordinator. Yeah.
And you basically just mocked the whole system. A guy who was a defensive coordinator, got run out of Detroit, and now he's your OC because what? He's your buddy? Like, you're not even trying anymore. You're putting up false hurdles that you can't clear. Now, anybody else would have been fired. I mean, could you imagine that if Detroit did that and Dan Campbell went out and just hired you know what, let me go get some high school coach and have him run my team. And then the team is horrible? He's fired. You put your reputation on the line. If you're Belichick, you're better off walking away before you tarnish this whole thing, and you end up looking like Jerry Rice as a Seahawk,
Emmitt Smith as a Cardinal.
Right.
So I want to get your opinion on this. Not set it in stone, but I kind of want to get your idea as we are a week away from rookies reporting to team camp on DeAndre Hopkins and Dalvin Cook. Where do they land? Because the expectation is that they sign somewhere as training camp starts or shortly after it starts.
I don't think either one of those guys is going to sign anywhere before training camp starts.
So towards the end of training camp.
Right, because no NFL player wants to go through training camp.
Veterans like themselves, yes.
If you could avoid it, you avoid it. It's like basic training. You don't want to go through the two-a-days and all of the no. Out there in the heat, screw that. Just call me when the season starts, and I'll be ready. I'm a veteran. Cook, I think, will get signed before
so where does he
Hopkins.
Go?
If you're Cook, and actually both of you're kind of waiting to see who needs you because there's always injuries in training camp. And, I don't wish this upon anybody, but imagine if Gibbs goes down. Guess what? The Lions are now a viable option. And what better way to stick it to the Vikings than to take their leading rusher and make him yours? It hurt the Packers last year.
It did. And what's interesting with both is I read a report, especially on Dalvin Cook, that he has 2 offers on the table, but he didn't like them, so he's not accepting it, which means he's not getting the money he wants. And with Hopkins, the Chiefs are said to want him, but for cheap.
Right. And if you're both, you got nothing to lose by waiting. Maybe, and here's the thing. If somebody gets injured, now your price goes up because if all of a sudden the number one receiver on a certain team is down and is going to be out for a while, let's pay D-Hop the money and we got to go out there and win some games because we can't afford to just write this season off because your window is now for certain teams. It's the smartest move. I wouldn't sign either. If you're Cook, same thing. You wait and see. Because if they're going to pay you pennies now, they're going to pay you pennies in another month. So hold off and see if you can get dollars.
So let me ask you about this here because Monday is the deadline for those that were franchise tagged to sign an extension. Yesterday, I asked you about Saquon Barkley. He's willing to sit out at least the first week of the regular season if he doesn't get his deal. So let me name you these guys. You let me know if they get a deal. Let's start with Evan Ingram, tight end for the Jags. You expect him to sign an extension before the deadline, Monday.
I do because I think the Jags have opened up their window, and I think they need to get this done. They need Ingram to be a part of this piece. They need him to be the safety valve for the QB. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, every good quarterback needs that tight end that can help him out. So, yes.
Tony Pollard, does he get an extension or does he just play on the tag?
I think he ends up playing on the tag. I don't think Jerry Jones is still in love with Zeke. And
There's
I wouldn't be
rumors that he comes
right.
back.
And David, I was going to say, I wouldn't be shocked if Zeke Elliott somehow walked on and just kind of showed up to Dallas and like, hey, pulled a Bob Huggins. What do you mean I'm gone?
It's me again.
Right. He walks in. I could see that happening. I don't think Jones is sold on Pollard. He's the best running back, but man, when your owner doesn't believe in you, if I'm Pollard, I play on this deal and I leave.
And then the next player who is in a similar situation, well, at least he's saying it, as Saquon Barkley, it is Josh Jacobs. Does he sign an extension or does he possibly miss games in the regular season?
I think he's probably going to end up missing some games in the regular season. He's going to go the Saquon route. The unfortunate thing is those two, and maybe even Dalvin Cook, are going to sacrifice careers in trying to help out future running backs. But you should have saw, Le'Veon Bell showed they're not paying running backs, and I don't care what you did, it's an expendable position. And it's unfortunate because I remember the day where you couldn't win unless you had a running back. Now, running back, if you can get 3 years out of them, great, and then you move on. That's why, for the Lions, you better do what you can with Jahmyr Gibbs because, trust me, in about 3 years, you're going to be hauling him out to the garbage just like you did DeAndre Swift.
And then let's quickly close it out with this because CBS released a list of 5 NFC quarterbacks with the most pressure. I'm not going to go through all 5. I just want to know your thoughts on just a couple of them. And it's Kirk Cousins.
Kenny Pickett, he'd get destroyed week one.
No, NFC quarterbacks.
Oh.
Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott.
Cousins has pressure, but Cousins is weird. I know, to me, because he'll have a great game, and then he'll just follow it up with he's Jared Goff. Jared Goff's Kirk Cousins. Never really seen them in the same room together. And because both are head scratchers. Both are like, you know what? We could win with this guy. I could win with Cousins. And then you realize, actually, we can't win with him. Wait, we can. You have the best receiver. He's an anomaly. It's
throws a great pass to Justin Jefferson. The next pass is an interception to the middle linebacker.
A better example to me was like Stafford. You had Calvin Johnson. So other quarterbacks are probably saying, how are you not winning more? If I had Calvin, I would win. You got Justin Jefferson. Why aren't you winning more? He'll have those games where, wow, look at what he did. And then he'll have games like in the playoffs where you realize you're wearing purple, right? You're the team in the purple jersey. You're throwing to the wrong jerseys.
And then Dak Prescott, he was number 1 on the list for most pressure for NFC quarterbacks.
That comes with being a Dallas Cowboy quarterback. That's Dak, and you're living it up. They're not going to get rid of you. It's a lot of pressure, but your team sucks. You haven't won anything, man, since the 90s?
Correct. Yeah, tough situation there for Dak Prescott.
Which way are you going to lose to the 49ers this year? I still can't believe he ran in the middle of the field and slid with no timeouts. Did he think he was in college?
That was a strange situation.
I was like, did he just end the game? Did he just
no timeouts here? What are you doing?
Did he just take a knee for us? Okay, then.
Nick Bosa celebrating.
Right.
Should have celebrated. That is in football today.